People of Earth, we come in peace.
Welcome to this neighborhood, neighbor.
I am the Martian ambassador.
Des Moines and all of Central Iowa, welcome to Mac's World Live. Mac's World is your world. Every day we talk about the issues and topics that matter most to you. And as always, it's your voice we want to hear in Mac's World. So join the conversation by calling 515-244-0077. And now, here's the host of Mac's World Live, J. Michael McCoy.
All right, good afternoon. It's 7 minutes after the hour. Put him over here. 7 minutes after the hour on the 21st December in the Lord's year 2015. Yes, we are just 4 days away, as Frank would call him, Santa Claus, from visiting us. And he'll come down your chimney sometime on Thursday night, hopefully while you're at the Lutheran Church of Hope Christmas celebration. Services 5 o'clock on Tuesday, 5 and 7 on Wednesday, and 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11 on Christmas Eve. And then again, a regular traditional service at 10 o'clock on Christmas Day. And if you are a member of a church or a pastor at a church, and you'd like to tell us about when your Christmas celebrations are, phone lines are open. We would gladly have you call and tell us. 515-244-0077. So do you, does your grandson still, no, your grandson's too old to believe in Santa Claus, right?
Yes.
He's what, like 16 now?
Be 16 in June.
Talk into the microphone. It's radio.
16 in June.
Okay, so does he still get presents from Santa?
I think he tells Santa what he wants now, which is mom and dad and grandma, what he wants, and I think he knows that they don't come in the white beard variety anymore.
Well, I beg your pardon. I know of a certain Santa Claus that showed up 3 times last week.
Well, what'd you bring me, Santa?
I bring you squat. I brought you coal, sunshine. Coal, a big lump of coal.
Will it turn into a diamond?
No. Well, yeah, if you put enough pressure on it, they say it will. Okay. And Lord knows you've got enough pressure on you under here.
Yeah.
So, no, I got to play Santa Claus again, and I was at a private home on Saturday, and that was at 11. And then I had to be over at I got to be over at Legacy Retirement Center in Waukee at 2 o'clock. So I had some time to kill. So I decided to stop in at a couple bars where folks are just sitting around having a good time. And I walked in as Santa Claus and had so much fun. I put a story on Facebook that, and I don't take anything for being Santa Claus. I mean, you ask the people that ask me to come over and do that. I don't want anything. I get a lot from it. I enjoy it tremendously. So I'm at a private person's home on Saturday, and this kid, I don't know, how old's your daughter? 8?
7.
Yeah, this guy's probably 7 or 8 years old, and he's sitting on my lap, and he said, "Are you really Santa Claus?" And I said, "Well, why don't you pull on my beard and find out?" So this kid gives her a yank. And I'm not going to say it hurt, but it startled me a little bit because he really yanked it. And he turned over and he looked at his mom and he said, "Mom, this Santa's just as real, or this Santa's real, just like Jesus." That's what this kid Ethan says to me. And so that made all the Santa Clausing I did this year all worthwhile.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it was, and his face was just huge. And then I decided to do something I haven't done in a long time, and I went bar hopping. I didn't drink anything, obviously.
Yeah, that's good.
I was just telling Frank, I don't know what you were doing, but I had like an hour and a half in between my Santa Claus visits, and we were not going to go home and change. So I stopped at a couple bars over in West Des Moines and walked into Santa Claus. And I got everything from, middle-aged people wanting to have their picture taken with me to little kids. There was this one little kid at this one place, and his father was so cool. So I went over, and He was kind of sitting halfway on the chair. And as I leaned over to say hello to him, his father whispers in my head, helicopters. And I don't know why. Maybe it was a Holy Spirit thing. I don't know why. But I said, so what do you want for Christmas? Harvey was his name, or Hank. Hank or Harvey? Harvey. What do you want for Christmas? And he said, well, I want helicopters. And I said, well, I knew that. And I said, I'll bet you'll have those under your tree from me on Christmas Eve. And his dad just winked at me, and I went on my way.
Good job. Way to go, Santa Claus. That's the hardest part about the whole Santa Claus deal is if you send your kid over to sit on the lap of Santa Claus and you're and it's the day before Christmas and the kid starts rattling off to Santa Claus all these things that they want and you go, I've never heard of any of these things before. Here it is 24 hours before D-Day, as it were, for Christmas.
Now, as a Christian parent,
when
is it the No, serious here. I'm asking a serious question. As a Christian parent, when it is Wait a
minute. Be forewarned, Frank might be screwing something up for the young person here. So,
when do you burst a child's bubble about Santa?
Right, now, hold on. First of all, why don't you just say as a parent?
Well, because some secular parents don't ever do it. They just kinda,
so why would a Christian?
They just kind of let them figure it out on their own. Because I think a Christian parent is a little more sensitive about the issue of a fictional character.
I see where Frank's coming from because, this is an issue within the church and has been for a long time. And the challenge here, Mac, is that for a lot of Christians, really myself included, I think to say, wait a minute here. I'm not saying, look, my daughter knows the truth about Santa Claus, as it were, okay? But
he lives in Clive and works for Daddy?
That's right. That's right. But I think a lot of Christians don't want to tell their kids that something's true that they can't see in hopes that they would believe in it to find out later that it's false because of the fear that they would have the same experience when it comes to Jesus. The fear is that if I tell people that Santa Claus is real and they find out he's not, then they're going to think Jesus is not real. Now, we just approach it as it's something fun to pretend, and why not? My daughter's favorite Christmas character is Rudolph. She likes reindeers. Yep. She's a big reindeer fan, and so Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is all a go.
So you didn't buy her reindeer sausage this year?
Right, that would make her sad. She did. But
so when did you tell her?
When did I tell? No, I mean
he hasn't told her yet.
No. Kate knows
that there's no Rudolph.
No, Santa.
Oh no, Rudolph's real, man. I've seen him.
Yeah, right. Okay. Mm-hmm.
I've seen Rudolph.
Yeah. So Christian parents, don't lie to your kids about fictitious Santa Clauses, but for heaven's sakes, the old reindeer gig can go on forever.
We've seen reindeer. Reindeer are real.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And they fly and everything.
When I was married, we let our daughter believe that up until about, I think, 4 or 5.
Yeah.
And then you popped her bubble. And that's when you fell off the hero podium, Grandpa. I'm telling you.
I think it's so much fun. I think I grew up. I don't think I ever believed as a child that Santa Claus was really coming to my house and bringing me gifts. However, there were packages from Santa. I think pretending is fun. That's my opinion. I think
wife
pretending
still
is fun.
Gets presents from Santa.
Yes, and rightly so. I think it's fun to pretend. Why not?
Mostly inappropriate ones.
We just don't want.
Blame him.
We just didn't want mean kids in school attacking her for that belief if she believed it too old.
That's true. That's true. You want to be careful. You want to be careful because people, Mac, kids can be mean. Either way, kids can be mean. And you want to be careful if your kids don't believe in Santa Claus that they don't go twerking off the kids that do and the parents and the mommies and stuff.
Okay. Well, I'm just telling you,
The Santa Claus kerfuffle, it'll never end.
Mac didn't think we was going to get into this much of a part of the segment about
Frank,
Santa.
have you heard the McRib is back?
The McRib? Is Santa bringing the McRib?
So the last time we heard anything from Johnson County in Kentucky was when that woman refused to sign a marriage license for 2 men who, by the way, were already married. Well, it's happened again. A Charlie Brown Christmas was supposed to be performed last weekend at W.R. Castle Elementary School in Johnson County. But however, Johnson County School Superintendent Thomas Slayer told the local newspaper that they have cut the part of Linus's reading out of the Bible because we have a separation of church and state. How messed up are these people? Do you have that cut? All right, let's listen to this outlandishly outrageous, absolute. I mean, when little kids hear Linus say this, and they actually think that maybe a baby was born in swaddling clothes and laying in a manger. Oh my heavens, the psychological damage that could cause. One of my favorite parts in the whole world. Play this at my funeral, would you? All right, let's hear it.
Isn't there anyone who knows what Christmas is all about? Sure, Charlie Brown. I can tell you what Christmas is all about. Lights, please. And there were in the same country shepherds, abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them. And the glory of the Lord shone round about them. And they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not. For behold, I bring you tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host praising God, and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men.
Thank you, Ryan. So we're going to go back 60 years. We're going to edit a non-fictional classic cartoon so children do not have to be confronted with Christianity. But I'll bet you every one of those rotten little kids has Christmas presents under their fake tree as they celebrate the holly days, which we learned last week meant holy days. We're coming back live here on The Truth.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah!
If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
Rock and Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens. Rock on. This is Pat McManus for Rock and Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast 1.
21 minutes after the hour, 3 o'clock, live here on The Truth, 99.3. Everyone in Central Iowa very sad over the untimely and unexpected death of Randy Hinkle, the legendary football and track coach from Madrid, Iowa. 2 years ago, Hinkle became just the 11th Iowa high school football coach to ever win over 300 games. Hinkle coached at Madrid for 29 years, once leading the football team to a state championship and consistently competing for them throughout his tenure. Sad, sad thing for the folks here in Central Iowa. Randy, we love you. All right, let's go to the phones where Wendy is standing by. Wendy, live from Nevada, Iowa. Wendy, how are you this afternoon? Nice to hear from you.
Oh, I'm doing good. Hey, speaking of swaddling clothes, I learned something this morning about swaddling clothes.
All right.
The Bible specifically says that Jesus was wrapped in swaddling clothes. And I never paid attention to what swaddling clothes is or are. I figured it was a blanket of some sort. But what swaddling clothes are, it's scraps of material that they would bury the dead in.
Oh, my.
Back in that time. So Jesus was wrapped in death clothes.
Wow.
As
That's
a baby.
Interesting.
I thought it was very interesting.
Well, that's more than ironic. You know?
Yeah.
Even if he was or wasn't, if that's what it was reported and written in our great book called the Bible, wow, that Jesus, from the moment he was born, was wrapped in death clothes.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's like every word in the Bible we need to take heed of.
Yeah, there's.
How many times have we read swaddling and not know what it meant? I'll speak for myself.
I've heard it for 56 years and never knew what it was.
Yeah. I learned that on Chip Ingram's show this morning.
Well, good for you, Chip. And thank you very much, Wendy, for listening. We appreciate you.
All right. Take it easy, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. We have got some exciting stuff going on here in the next hour and a half. This show is kind of for you survivalists. We have two good guests. One is Judd Saul, and his website, I want you to write this down and pull it up, is MyPrepper, Prepper, myprepperdirect.com. And the other guest that we're going to have a little bit later join us is Pastor Luke Timm, who is a gun enthusiast?
Yeah.
Is that a nice way of putting it?
Yeah.
Can I say a gun freakatoid?
There's probably crazier gun people in the world, but he's up there.
Well, and he's got a real passion for gun ownership, obviously legal ownership. He's got a real passion for people to understand what guns are all about. He got into a conversation the other day on Facebook with Pat Nicholas, our Pat.
Oh, yeah, Pat. Mm-hmm.
I thought the two of them were going to meet, square off, and count 10 paces and fire. Whew. Not a good conversation. I mean, it was a fun conversation.
But they're both gun people.
But they just, well, see, this just shows you. All right, so you've got two Jesus people.
Yeah.
You got two guys that loves Jesus very much. You've got the guy that is right and the guy that is wrong. I'll play the guy that's right. Frank will play the guy that's wrong. But what we're wrong about are just insignificant details.
Sure.
We're not wrong about what's 1 inch from the cross or 1/2 inch from the cross. We're wrong about something that is not essential. That's what was going on between Pat and Luke.
Yeah.
Is they just had a difference of opinion on non-essentials.
And Gabe Klein was in the middle of that conversation too.
Oh, was Gabe in there too?
Yeah. He was stirring stuff up then because he's not a gun guy.
I don't know. Isn't he?
Well, he was the young kid you had in
No,
here.
I know who he is.
That he was endorsing banning ammunition.
Oh, that's right. That's true. Okay. The other one I just got to mention before we get to our special guest today. Man, something smells good. What is that? Judd, tell me what that is.
What we have for you are samples of survival food.
Man, it smells good.
And that's what I'm trying to say. I'm a fat guy myself, and if I'm going to have survival food, I'm going to have food that tastes good.
Well, it smells great. All right, we'll get to you in a minute. So, if Donald Trump doesn't do anything, he certainly entertained us.
Yes.
Especially us folks here in Iowa during a time that can be more drawn out than a long labor of love with a pregnant woman. I mean, holy Toledo. We've been watching these candidates come into town since August of 14. So did you hear what he said over the weekend?
Well, he said
besides Hillary's a liar?
Yeah. He calls Hillary a liar.
Oh, nice.
And backs it up and says, well, she is. And, of course, she is. And then, this is hilarious. He's talking about Bernie Sanders, and he calls him a manic and a communist. He says, I watched Hillary last night. This was the debates.
Yeah.
I watched Hillary last night. We're going to give this. We're going to give that. We're going to give to that. He said, this poor woman, she's got to give everything away because this manic that was standing on her right was giving everything away, so she's just following. The socialist/communist, okay. Nobody wants to say it. Trump said to the applause, he's going to tax you people at 90%. He's going to take everything, and nobody's heard the term communist. I call him a socialist/communist because that's what he is.
Well, he admitted he was going to tax the middle class, and the other thing was
Bernie did.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that he admitted it.
And then Hillary accused Trump that ISIS was using his campaign rhetoric for recruitment videos, and they found that to be absolutely false. So that's why he called her a liar.
Well, I mean, I want to say every time that woman opens her mouth, she's lying, but that's not true.
Right.
I'm sure when she says, I love no, that'd be a lie. Hold on.
She might say good morning to somebody. And
you could keep your insurance and your no, that wouldn't be it either.
I had nothing to do with Benghazi.
No, can't say that either. Oh, she probably could say, I know the Bill's a cheating, lying adulteress. That'd be the truth.
Yes.
But, it's getting down pretty heavy. But good for Trump. I mean, really. Don't you want a president that calls it the way it is, or do you want a PC correct president?
It's kind of funny that he gets in trouble for that because, believe it or not, I didn't think anything that he just said was weird or strange or controversial.
But you're not supposed to say those things. See,
yeah,
because
I guess
that doesn't follow the narrative that she's this sweet, wonderful, stand by your man, Tammy Wynette kind of grandma.
Well, he said 3 times after the debate, the Republican debate the other night, that he hasn't even started on Hillary yet, and that
he hasn't even started.
Hasn't even started on her. And he said 3 times if they let her run.
Yeah.
Meaning the Democrats if they let her run.
Well, depending on who you ask, it's a slam dunk if Donald Trump runs against Hillary. I don't know how, because see, Hillary's not going to, Donald Trump's not going to hold water for Hillary because she's a female. Okay. A lot of other people, Jeb Bush, I'm sure, would just stay away and just be kind because that's a woman. That's like my grandma over there, et cetera, my mom. And Trump isn't going to care. He's not going to care.
Well, do you remember Rick Lazio when they ran for Senate
in New York?
New York, and he walked into her space and tried to get her to sign a paper that limited their dirty campaign money, what they called the dirty money or whatever. And the media made it that he was trying to intimidate her, So Trump is the one guy that can say to her the stuff that needs to be said and probably get away with it.
All right, let's. I want to go to. We got 2 guests that are going to share the next hour or so, and both of them have a lot to do with each other. Although you've never met Pastor Luke Timm, right?
I have not.
And got to get up on the mic.
I have not.
All right, and Luke, I don't think you've met Judd. So Luke's coming up here with a whole bunch of weaponry. More guns than I think I'm comfortable with in one room, but I trust Luke, so I'm not going to worry about that. Judd, and I want you to go to your website or write this down or just remember it. It's My Prepper, 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 direct.com, myprepperdirect.com. Judd, tell me what this product is that you have, because it's very, very unique.
Well, we specialize in survival products. We believe that I think anybody should be prepared in case of any emergency. I mean, if the electricity goes off, water goes out, any type of natural disaster, we have products that will definitely help you survive, you and your family survive in any case of an emergency. And I just think you can't be certain on anything, but I think it's good for people to have that protection in their house, that insurance, if you will, but a tangible insurance policy of survival just in case something happens.
Well, I think, Judd, one of the things, you brought a bunch of really great stuff here in the studio, and we can smell it, and it smells really good. It looks like it's teriyaki chicken is the thing that we're smelling there. But one of the packs that you have is for the car, and being a newer Midwestern person, newer to the winter weather and all that kind of stuff, that's something that I think is just kind of one of those essential things that you should just have in your car, especially during the winter months as people are traveling and seeing their family. This is the Wise All-in-One Auto Kit. You've got food, water, first aid, warmth, security. This is great. You've got jumper cables in there, pull rope, but you've got food and water.
Tow rope.
I'm sorry, tow rope.
Well, the only reason I correct you on that is because that means that rope's strong enough to hook to your car and be towed out of a snowbank or something.
Gotcha. So, I mean, this is fantastic. 37-piece first aid kit, 2 pouches of granola, freeze-dried bananas, high-calorie energy bars, and 4 water pouches. Easy for you to say, Mac. But this is cool. I mean, and that's just the beginning of you guys. You have everything from this to long-range stuff.
Yeah, to tornado kits, earthquake survival kits. Not that we have to worry about those in the Midwest, but we have tornado survival kits. And a simple 5-day kit that just has emergency food, water purification ready to go. And I think that you'd be unwise not to have that kind of protection, because if the power goes out, if let's say the grid shuts down, the power's out, all the food in your refrigerator is gone.
Yeah, it's gone in 24 hours.
What are you gonna have left? If a major disaster happens, there's no food at the grocery stores. What are you going to do?
Hey, just seriously, go to Hy-Vee or any grocery store the day before any big snowstorm, and you'd think we're about ready to hit a disaster because everything's gone.
Right, absolutely.
Everything's gone. All right, so the thing I like, first of all, I want to talk about 2 different areas here, Judd, and that is that, and I appreciate you being smart enough to talk about this. We are facing a difficult time ahead of us. And we don't know what's going to happen. You use the word grid. Some people don't know what that is. The grid is everything we depend on. It's your utilities. It's your internet. It's your gas. It's your, what else?
Your power, your basic infrastructure.
Everything.
If the grid goes down, everything goes down, and everyone's left to fend for themselves. There is no depending on your neighbor. There's no depending on the grocery store. What are you going to do if that happens?
Especially my neighbors. They'd cut me out. All right. So we've got some food to taste. We've got some other things to take a look at that Judd has. Again, the website is myprepperdirect.com, myprepper, Prepper. And at the same time, I've invited Pastor Luke Timm in today because Pastor Luke you're a gun enthusiast.
Yeah, I would. That's a good way to.
But you're more than that, though, in a way, aren't you? Because you're really smart about. I mean, I hate to call you smart, but you are smart about weaponry.
Yeah, I'm a little bit of a gun nerd. I know, guys, I don't call myself an expert. I know enough about guns to know what an expert is, and I know enough to know that I'm not one.
So if I call you a gun nerd, that's okay?
That's fine, yeah.
All right, so he's going to be in here, and we're going to be talking about this, and one of the reasons we're talking is because Christmas is a couple days away. And there are people in your life, your kids who travel a lot, your husband, your son who likes to hunt. We want to mix those 2 up and kind of give you a shout out. That's coming up next, live here on Mac's World.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast 1 Live.
I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer.
I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Homs,
And I'm the Service Manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed. Fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed rate or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're gonna make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.
.38, 22 minutes before the top of the hour, Salem Radio Network News, and then we'll continue this surviving Christmas, but surviving Christmas in the right way. Two great guys here, both Iowa guys. Well, Luke's not really Iowan. You're what, Michigan, Wisconsin?
Minnesota.
Oh, that's even worse. So, and Judd's born and raised in Waterloo, Cedar Falls, and they both have something really interesting that they're passionate about. And Judd, yours is called myprepperdirect.com. And if you go to that site, you can see all these different things that you can order, including food. And what's the shelf life on the food? Is it? I imagine it varies.
Depending on how you store it, up to 25 years.
Wow. And everybody thinks about this survival food as this tasteless things in little foil packets that we see in movies or whatever. And in fact, that's not at all what this is. Let Frank try something. Let Frank try it. He'll eat anything.
Here you go.
Don't give him anything with pork though, because he's kind of half Muslim.
Okay, this is our apple cinnamon cereal.
And what do you add to that to make it?
Boil water, drop it in the bag, mix it up. It's good to go.
So you just start a fire somewhere and you
start
can
a fire,
water.
boil water, drop it in.
Okay, now Frank, don't double dip.
I won't.
Yeah, you got to share with others.
Yeah, and then here, just take the spoons and forks and pass them around. Let Luke try it there. See if it's good for Frank, it's good for Luke. And so this is apple cinnamon. Now you also, I think what's cool is you also have gluten-free stuff.
Yes.
Because that's becoming kind of an issue.
And believe it or not, people who are looking at survival food are really getting into the gluten-free thing. That's one of our hottest sellers right now is the gluten-free 1 month supply.
Really?
Yes.
Now, if I understand it correctly, gluten is something that's been added to our food in the last few years. And some people are...
It's just wheat.
It's wheat, but it's not real wheat, is it?
It's in real wheat.
It's in real wheat.
It's in real wheat.
Why all of a sudden do we need gluten-free food?
It's a good question. There's actually some debate on whether it is because of the GMOs have changed the way the proteins are in the actual wheat itself. Some people think... My favorite theory is actually that our overuse of antibiotics are causing our gut flora to not digest gluten as well as it used to.
Oh.
So it's not the wheat and the gluten, it's the rest of our diet that's causing us to not handle gluten. Whatever.
I don't doubt that at all.
Yeah.
I think the garbage we put in our food, I think back to the way my grandmother, God bless her soul, if we were having chicken dinner after church, she went out and killed a chicken. And we were fairly successful people, but this is 1950. This is 1940. We lived on a farm. Go out and take the chicken, chop its head off, pull all the feathers off, stick it in the boiler, let that stuff get going, and then stick it in the frying pan, and there you go.
Well, and let's segue to that. A lot of people back then had those skills. They knew how to butcher their own meat. They knew how to kill their food, prep it, and eat it. Most people nowadays don't know how to do that.
That's kind of scary because you're sitting across from a guy who goes out and kills Bambi, drags it back and hangs it from the rafters in his home, and then guts the poor thing and turns it into...
puncture the urine bag.
Yeah, you always get the gutting part right. You gut them out in the field.
Oh, you do?
And you skin them in your garage.
Why don't you skin them out in the field?
Because then you get all the dirt and crap on the meat.
All right, so you gut them in the field.
And you drag them out.
See, when I was a kid, we'd get into the barn, and you know those chain winches you'd use to pull an engine out of the truck?
Yeah, I want one of those.
Yeah, that's what we'd have, and we'd put those deer or we'd put those cows. I mean, we slaughtered our own beef.
Yeah, but it's not on my property that they're dying, so I don't have the luxury of hauling around a block and tackle system to drag deer up in the air to do that in the field.
What happens if you what happens if you don't gut them out in the field? Just too heavy to drag home?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be... And then once you get home, then you'd have a big pile of guts to deal with.
And what would you do with those? What do you do with them out there?
You just leave them in the field. Leave them right where you gut them.
So you don't eat them?
Well, I eat the heart. My wife has not let me... there's a couple of recipes I want to try with liver and kidneys. My wife won't let me do that, but... We eat a lot of deer heart in my house.
And then I'm assuming you're probably going to give me some poppycock story that the rest of the stuff you leave out there is eaten by the savage wolves, and so it's all okay that you kill Bambi.
Well, they're not wolves, but they're probably coyotes. A lot of birds, actually. Usually you see birds eating the gut piles.
Okay.
And other critters.
All right, and you're going to talk to us about weaponry. Now, I want to try the teriyaki chicken. Is there any silverware?
I don't know that we're going to let you eat it. It's absolutely fantastic.
There's
That's
no
really
silverware.
good. Here, double dip mine. Use
No,
mine.
I'm not putting what was in your mouth in my mouth. That will not happen on my radio program.
Let me go get one of our survival forks for you.
Okay.
nice.
I can do that. I can do that. This smells good.
It is the farthest thing from bland, to be honest with you.
Oh, no, I don't want you to open up one of those good ones.
No, that teriyaki chicken has a good kick to it. Don't you agree, Frank? That's got a real kick to it. And
We're gonna do the real deal here. We're opening up one of the kits.
So this is a fork, knife, and spoon kit.
Yes.
Basically, and these are stainless steel.
Stainless steel.
Okay, you got to talk into the microphone.
Yep, it's stainless steel. Comes with our deluxe kit, which our deluxe kit's good for 7 days for 2 people in an emergency.
Wow.
And we'll go through some of that here in a little bit, but Mac's dying for the food, so I got to give him the silverware.
So why wouldn't you? I mean, if now my wife and I are not, this will surprise you, Luke, but we're not really outdoor people.
Huh.
But if we were going to go camping,
yes,
for a week, why wouldn't this be something good to get?
Actually, I've done a lot of backpacking, especially when I was younger, and a lot of this prepper stuff dovetails with backpacking stuff very closely. I've had a lot of this dehydrated food before. I think it's fantastic. I love it.
You know, it really does taste good, to be honest with you. I've had the MREs, the military MREs.
There's a kick to
my
it.
My dad had some of those from Vietnam.
That's unfortunate.
And I ate some of that stuff. Holy cow, that stuff is lousy.
So when I was a youth pastor, I used to have this challenge we do with the kids, and I would make them. I got a couple of MREs, and I said, whoever can eat this the fastest wins. And we had more vomiting on that one day than any other challenge.
We don't use that word on here unless we're talking about Frank.
But this is how far we've gone in that kind of stuff, right? I mean, MREs are real basic.
I don't know what an MRE is.
Meal ready to eat.
Okay.
It's the
That's
military
your standard
version.
military issue meal, and
is that the foil stuff you and I were talking about?
Close to. But I went and tasted different companies, different kinds of foods, and I settled on this food. I settled on Wise.
WISE company.
Yes, and you can get it through My Prepper Direct at a much better rate. In fact, we have a special going on right now just for this radio show. If you go to our website, type in truth, get 10% off.
Oh, nice. There we go. So myprepperdirect.com, and the code word is truth.
Truth.
Nice.
All right, so I want you to think outside the box for a minute. I want you to think about those people in your life that go fishing, go hunting, go hiking, go long car trips. You know, they drive from here to, I don't know, Minnesota or Michigan or Texas, or even a short little jaunt down the road to that great state of Nebraska. And why wouldn't this be a wonderful gift for somebody who you worry about that's traveling down that road? We have a phone call, Ryan. Who's it from? Brad. Oh, Brad. Army Brad. Brad, you're live in Max World. How you doing, Brad?
Good. You guys were knocking my MREs, and I had to call and defend, because if you're eating the Chicken a la King, that's probably the same product from the MREs. And somebody was confusing MREs with C rations, which were a completely different product. So I don't know who had the information about the Korean War era stuff, but that was
Frank. Anytime you find something wrong said on the radio, just say it's Frank.
Yeah.
Because Frank's the only one old enough in this room to remember the Korean War.
Because a lot of the MRE stuff is probably pretty similar to what it sounds like you guys are eating right now.
I don't think so.
No, the stuff that I've had, the MREs that I've had are really high in sodium, and the calorie count is crazy high. I mean, those guys are tracking through the sandbox on a daily basis. They're burning 8,000 calories a day. That's not this stuff.
No. Extended shelf life, camping and backpacking, emergency supply, lightweight and packable, and gluten-free. I think this stuff's good. All right, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about some ideal Christmas presents. Uh-oh, he's got a toy. Is that a wind-up flashlight?
Radio, flashlight, cell phone charger, solar too.
Coming back live here on The Truth.
Credit cards are like grandkids. They love you, sometimes get out of control, and it's fun to get a new one. Who can stop them from piling on?
Hi, I'm Tom Coates with Consumer Credit of Des Moines. At the end of the day, you can return the grandkids, but you're stuck paying off bad credit card debt. We'll help you put the fun back into using credit cards responsibly. Right, kids?
Yeah! If you need help getting credit cards off your back, call Consumer Credit of Des Moines.
Hi, my name is David Burrier, your Hope Coach. I host a live weekly talk show called I've Been There every Thursday afternoon at 5:30, right here on webcast1live.com, and on my weekly radio program Saturday mornings at 10 on Truth Network 99.3 FM. I interview common everyday people who have survived incredible life challenges and who testify to God's faithfulness in the midst of their storms. So join me as we bring a message of hope and encouragement. Everybody needs hope. I know, because I've been there.
Rockton Prevention is celebrating 25 years of creating a caring community. We want to say thank you to the tens of thousands of Rock High School mentors that have carried our message of health, love, and encouragement to over 1.5 million children, teachers, and parents. Our mentors teach children methods and skills to prevent bullying and drug use. Thank you to all the school administrators, teachers, and counselors for their opportunity to serve you. Rock on, fair citizens, rock on! This is Pat McManus for Rockton Prevention, the Richard O. Jacobson Foundation, and this station.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
Ten minutes before the top of the hour Salem Radio Network News, our extended version, and then both Judd and Luke are going to hang around. Judd is my prepper. I'm not saying that wrong. It's prepper, PREPPER, direct.com. If you're looking for that unusual Christmas gift, I'll tell you what, nobody's going to get one of these. He's got one here. Well, I want to read this first. I want to remind you that coming up on Tuesday, January 5th, Iowa is the kickoff to the Franklin Graham and the Decision America Tour. This is about 3 weeks before the Iowa caucuses. It'll be down at the state capitol. The rally starts at noon. If you want more information and details, all you got to do is go to their website and look up DecisionAmericaTour.com. DecisionAmericaTour.com, and that's coming up on Tuesday, January 5th. So we've got a good 20 days or something to tell you about that and get you all interested in that. All right, so Judd Saul is here, myprepperdirect.com. And then our in-house gun nerd, Pastor Luke. I don't see, if I call you pastor, everybody's going to think you're like whacked out and nobody will visit your church.
Yeah, I know. That's why
you really have a good church and you're a good sermon giver and all that. But I don't know. Maybe I should just call you BK.
There you
call
go.
You BK.
Sure. What associations could that bring?
Bambi Killer.
Oh, okay. Not the BK Killer, the psycho guy who.
Well, she fits, Grandpa. Wear it. Okay. So turn that around, Judd, so I can see what's in this. Okay, so this is the Be Wise, Be Ready Auto Kit. You've got 2 pouches of granola, freeze-dried bananas, high-calorie energy bar, and 4 water pouches. How much water in the water pouches?
8 ounces.
Oh, that's pretty good. Then you've got a multi-pocket deluxe auto bag with reflector strip and folding floor mat. Sorry.
Automatically floods.
That was silly. Folding floor mat. And the reflector strip is great. So if you're kind of buried somewhere in the snow, you can get that out and get that on the car somewhere. What?
What's the purpose of the folding floor mat?
Well, if you have to get underneath the car, you want to have a mat to kind of put your knees on. It's something good to have.
All right.
Frank just went floor mat. I get a floor mat? That's awesome.
Upgrade.
Premium jumper cables, tow rope. Now, I want to make a point. This is a tow rope. This means that this rope is really super strong and that you can get pulled out of a snow-filled banquet. No, not banquet. Bank.
Just
bank
bank.
of snow.
No bank.
Rechargeable flashlight, 5-in-1 survival whistle, Mylar emergency blanket, duct tape, and 37-piece first aid kit. And that comes in that group right there. Can you tell me what that retails for?
Retails for $79.
What a great gift. Yeah. What a great gift for a young couple. Now, is that what is that thing there that you wind up? Let me hear that again, because that was kind of cool. This is a radio flashlight, and it charges itself by winding it up.
And it's solar.
So in the sun, you can get it. And
yes.
AM, FM, or just AM, or?
AM, FM, and it also charges a cell phone.
Really?
Yes.
By just turning that little crank?
By turning the crank or leaving it out in the sun for solar.
Now, how much is that?
This retails for $20.
That's just a killer. Do you have one of those?
I have other means to accomplish similar
Same
things.
thing?
Yeah, this is what he's got here is great stuff for people who want to get into it and start. Start. That's what I would say. I'm not a prepper. Preppers get kind of a bad rap as being the nut jobs, and they're not.
Yeah.
They're people who are prepared. Boy Scouts.
There's the term.
but
That's a good idea, right? Let's be prepared. That's the issue.
And our goal for the website, this is for people who really haven't thought about this.
Yeah.
And people come in and say, okay, we want to have something at least secure, safe for the family to have, just in case, because a lot of people just don't really think about it. But when I put this in front of people, people go, oh, wow, I don't have anything like this. I haven't prepared for any type of emergency. And we're seeing the more people hear about it, the more people are buying, the more people are telling their friends, hey, you guys should consider something like this.
Yeah, the number one thing, too, to think about is what? Water. What's your solution for water?
Our solution for water is Seychelles Extreme Filter Water Bottle. And this filters out anything. It'll even filter out fluoride out of your water. It's that good. We've done creek water out of this. We've done mud water. We've done toilet water out of this. I have not found a better filter on the market. Some people like to go say, oh, what about Life Straw? They don't filter out as much as the Seychelles bottles do. And this is good for up to 100 gallons. It's a 28-ounce bottle, good up for 100 gallons of filtration water. And you could put any kind of water source in this, and it'll filter out organisms. It'll filter out metals. You name it, this will do it.
What about in a really bad scenario where the only water you have is the water you make? Does that also filter urine so that can be drinkable?
You'll have trouble on some of the salt content, but it will.
But salty, just a little bit, be a little salty. All right. Now, why do you think that's a big deal?
But people don't realize that the average daily requirement for water per individual, when you consider cooking, drinking, obviously, bathing, all of those things, is between 7 and 12 gallons per person.
A day?
A day. I know. That's the reaction you get, right? It's crazy. And
what if I just leave out bathing?
Well, we assume you do that anyways, but in regular case and instance, still, you've got hygienic things, right? I mean, you're still going to want to wash your hands. You're still going to want to brush your teeth. But when I was a senior in high school, there was an outbreak of cryptosporidium in the Milwaukee water. And I lived in Milwaukee during that time when I was in high school. And
Crypto, is that something to do with Superman?
No, it's a little critter that makes your insides come outside.
I see. Okay.
It's not a fun thing.
Okay.
And it was a huge deal, right? So what did people do? What are you going to do when an entire city doesn't have water?
Pepto-Bismol.
No, you don't drink any water.
Oh, I don't know. What are you going to do?
If you're in the wilderness, you'll be spraying the rocks, is what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And it's an ugly, ugly little critter that it's one of the more common ones that we filter out in city water. But man, when that goes down, if you don't have a way to filter your own water, and then we're not talking, obviously terrorist attack is a big deal, and all of those things are real. But what about lightning? What about storm? What about whatever? And all of a sudden you've got an issue with your water.
Just in Waterloo, about a month and a half ago, nitrate levels were so high in the water that babies were turning blue.
I remember hearing about that, yeah.
And it's just because one of the stations went out. Yep. One of the pumping stations went bad, and the whole water supply for a fourth of Waterloo was going bad.
All right, Ryan, do me a favor. Zoom in on the cachet that Luke has in front of him. Move that box a little side. And as we exit here, put that camera on him. And we've got quite a group of weaponry here. And Luke's going to talk about the differences and what's safe and what's not. We want to tell you that the folks down at Crossroads Shooting Gallery is the place you want to go and talk about owning a firearm, owning it safely, getting the proper permits, the proper training. So as Luke talks about this, we'll have a solution for you. That's coming up next here live on The Truth. 99.3. Yep, it's The Truth.